how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I'm guitar teacher Dwayne Jenkins. In today's video lesson, I'm going to show you 5 things that can help improve your guitar playing today. Let's check it out.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, so the first way to improve your playing is expand your chord vocabulary, okay? If you play a lot of bar chords, that's great. Play bar chords, that's super, okay? Learn other chord shapes as well, okay? Like for instance, your F chord shape. Learn to use that and bring that up and down the fretboard, okay? Your D chord shape. Some guitar players use that and bring that up the fretboard, like in this song here. Right there, that's a root 1 chord shape, okay? So increase your chord vocabulary. First thing I would recommend is your triads. Start with your triads, know all your triads on all 6 strings. Like for instance, okay, if we were going to do an A major triad on all 6 strings, we have an A major right here. This is a root 6 A major triad because of the A is on the 6th string. Here we have our A major root 5 triad because it's right here on the 5th string. You can see how that chord sounds different than this one, okay? Then our root 4 A major triad, use the F shape, bring that up to here, boom. There's our root 4 A major triad. Our root 3 A major triad is our natural A that everybody knows, this one here, okay? You can play with the 3 fingers or the bar, it doesn't really matter, okay? That's our 3. Our number 2, this is our D. Move that up, that becomes E, F, G, A. There's our root 2 A major triad, because the A is on the 2nd string right here, okay? And then our root 1 A major triad, here's our A here. That's A, E, and C sharp. There's our root 1 A major triad, okay? And once again, you can move those up and down the fretboard to create other ones. So there's our A, that's G, that's B, okay? So know those triads, work on those, know them all over your fretboard. That's gonna really help your chord vocabulary, okay? On all 6 roots, major, minor, augmented, diminished. If you're not too sure about that, you know, we can show you, I can help you out with that as well, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing to help improve your guitar playing is increase your scale vocabulary, okay? Know your scales, like your major scale, okay? For instance, we'll just keep with A is a good one here because it's right here, real common key guitar's played in, all right? So our A major scale. Now you know it's the major scale because it's going to have the do, re, mi in there. If it doesn't have the do, re, mi, it's not the major scale. There's all thousands of scales, okay? So you want to make sure it has the do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay? So there's your major scale. Make sure you know that. It's a pattern. Make sure you know it in every key. You can play it anywhere you want. That's the G major. You play it here. It's the B major. Okay, make sure you know that, all right? Make sure that you know your major scale, your minor scale, your pentatonic scales. Those are very important, okay? Because those are used in almost all lead guitar playing are those pentatonic scales, both major and minor, okay? So once again, the minor scale, your major scale right here, major pentatonic scale. Not the major that we just talked about. And the difference between your natural major has 8 notes, your pentatonic only has 5. That's what pentatonic means, 5 notes, okay? So those are 2 different scales. They're right there, you know those 2 scales. That's going to give you, increase your scale vocabulary, okay? You know your major scale, which is the do, re, mi, and you also know your pentatonic major scale. Both of those work great over major keys. Your major can also work over minor key too. So make sure you know that, all right? And with the pentatonic scales, there's 5 of them. Learn all 5 of those. I can't tell you how many times I've met people who only know 1 of them, or 2 of them, 3 of them. You know, most of them don't know all 5. Learn all 5. If you need help with that, I have books with that. You can find them on my, you can also find videos on my YouTube channel. Learn all 5, and the reason why you want to learn all 5 is because it's going to create a roadmap on the fretboard and allow you to play anywhere you want to play in any key. Okay, you just got to learn them and learn how to play them in any key, where they're positioned at. For instance, and we'll just say A for instance. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're back to the position of 1 in a higher octave, okay? So I was able to play all that right there, okay? And stay in key, and then we go 5 is right here. Okay, and then part of 4 would be right here. But you kind of lose some of those because of the nut. But anyway, you can play all over the fretboard if you know where those are, okay? Practice those, and the distance between the 2 notes is an interval, so master your intervals, okay? Alright? And then, of course, the next thing would be the modes that you learn. Those are based off the major scale that I just showed you a second ago. But instead of playing it across the fretboard like that, you play it this way. And each one of these has a mode off of it. Kind of like very similar to the pentatonics. Same concept, just different scales. Okay, you learn those, that's going to increase your scale vocabulary. So those 2 things right there alone, just your chord vocabulary and your scale vocabulary, those 2 things alone are really going to open up your guitar playing right there. Okay, it's going to just open up the whole fretboard. Alright, scales and chords, because that's what a lot of guitar playing is. It's harmony and melody. Okay, number 3, work on developing your picking hand. Alright, for strumming chords, like when you get your chords down real good, strumming them, you know, up, down, you know, different timing sequences. You have, you know, down, do down and up. You can do down, up, down. That's how you create rhythm, is your picking hand, okay? So you want to develop that, develop your timing, your quarter notes, your 8th notes, your triplets, your 16th notes. You know, 16 notes are 1 and 2 and, I'm sorry. Okay, so 4 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your triplets would be 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 8th notes would be 2. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Then your quarter notes would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So work on developing that for strumming. Also, your arpeggiated picking, because that's what makes the guitar sound pretty, when you can do that arpeggiated picking, okay? Any chord that you want to do, you know, you form a chord, learn to arpeggiate, pick the chord, meaning pick the strings individually, okay? That gives you that nice pretty sound of the guitar. Now you're starting to get different emotions. You know, if you want to play strumming, you're getting, that's one strumming, that's one emotion. Picking the chord individually, that gives you a little bit softer of a kind of sound. And also you can also work with your fingers and do finger picking too, okay? So that's another thing. And also your muting, your palm muting, to give it that percussive sound. So develop this, okay? Develop your fretboard hand, or I'm sorry, your picking hand, okay? Take some time, develop your picking hand, all right? And then number 4 is develop the fretboard hand, okay? The fretboard hand needs to hold chords, okay? It needs to be able to form them and hold them and be able to switch between them real well, okay? For playing songs and stuff, you need to be able to switch between chords real good. So that's something you want to develop as far as, you know, your fretboard hand, because this is the one that holds the chords. This one creates the rhythm, this one holds the chords and creates the chord progression. And you want to take time to develop that. Develop how to form different chords, how to move between them, okay? For rhythm playing, all right? Now for lead playing, you want to develop the fretboard hand to do all the things in lead playing to make your scales come to life, okay? So, for instance, hammer-ons, okay? We'll start with A again. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, slides, trills, vibrato. Okay, and then you take those and you just do a lot of mixing and matching, so to speak, and that's how you kind of get the scales to come to life, you know. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, double stops are another thing here, like kind of like these little, when you're playing two notes together, to slide with them. A lot of great lead guitar players use these techniques in their soloing. You know, your bends, your hammer-ons, your pull-offs, your slides, trills, you know, double stops. And bends are great because there's a lot of different bends you can do. You can bend up. You can bend up and add a little vibrato. You can bend up and release it. So you bend it up first, then pick it, bring it back down. Okay? And you don't have to play fast or anything. You can play slow. A lot of great guitar players play just slow with feeling and emotion. Of course, some you got to work on. Okay, you got to work on these things. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you got to work on it. But if you do, this is really going to help you with your playing. Okay. And number 5, the 5th thing I would recommend doing to help improve your playing is try some pedals, guitar pedals. Remember, that's what's great about playing electric guitar is we get to use pedals. Pedals can really spark the inspiration, okay? They can really, sometimes if you have just like an overdrive just pedal, give you some different sounds, you know? Playing rhythm. Okay? Maybe a delay pedal, you know? See how delay pedal is really nice, kind of gives you a little bit of an ambience to your sound. Okay, for both rhythm and lead playing. Okay, you could use, you know, something like a flanger pedal. Okay, flanger pedals are real pretty. See how that just kind of gives it some really cool sound, you know what I mean? All kinds of cool things you can do with that stuff, you know what I mean? Kind of this kind of pedal here, like a univibe type of pedal. You could use it for your lead playing, or you could use it for your chords. All kinds of cool things that you can do with pedals, so I would highly recommend, if you're kind of stuck in a rut with your sound, check out some pedals. You can do all kinds of really neat things with those. Okay, so there we have it. 5 ways that you can improve your playing. There's many, many more ways that you can do beyond that, but these are just 5 tips that you can do to really improve your playing, get you out of a rut. You know, a lot of guitar players get stuck in a rut. I teach and I come across these guys all the time. They're stuck in a rut, they need some help, and you might have that situation yourself. And if you practice these things like I told you, increase your chord vocabulary, increase your scale vocabulary, work on your, you know, developing your fretboard hand, work on developing your picking hand, your fretboard hand, developing your strumming, your arpeggiating, all that stuff. And work on all that, and pedals too, because that's going to really help you a lot. If you got a good sound, you got a good tone, it's going to inspire you to want to practice more. And above all else, the number 6 thing that I didn't mention earlier, the number 1 thing that's probably more important than all that stuff is consistency. Practice consistently. That is so important, okay? Don't try to practice for a couple hours here and then not practice, and then another 2 hours here and then not practice. You'd be better off to practice a little bit every day. The more consistent you are with it, the more the techniques and things stick in your brain, and the better off you're going to be, okay? And if you need some help, be sure to contact me. I've got books on just about everything. You know, if you need help with your chord vocabulary, I got my book here, Learn Guitar Chord Theory. Teaches you all your triads, your chord embellishments, all that stuff in a very simple, easy, step-by-step way of doing it. If you want to take some lessons, contact me. I teach offline and online. If you get online, if you just need a little help, we get online, help you out for a little bit, get unstuck, and get you on your way, okay? So be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like it, please like the video. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below, or if there's any tips that you found that have helped you out with your guitar playing that I didn't mention, leave me in the comments below. Be sure to hit the bell for future notifications. Keep practicing, and we'll see you at our next lesson.